Good morning, healers from beautiful Rosarito, Mexico. We're standing here out in front of the Sanoviv Hospital Clinic, and as you can see, we've got my wife Elizabeth there, and it's a beautiful location, and we're joined by the Director of Admissions and Marketing, Bill Mansell. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Welcome to Sanoviv.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for being here to meet us. I know that you flew in special for this trip, so we greatly appreciate the effort to welcome us, and we're excited to be here and see what Sanoviv is all about.
Well, you're very welcome.
Thank you. So where shall we start?
Well, let's just go inside.
Okay.
So this is what we call the mansion building here at Sanoviv. And this building was actually originally here when we first purchased the land, and it was purchased by this gentleman right here, whose name is Dr. Myron Wentz, who is our founder. And he had the vision of building a place that is an environment of healing. And he is a scientist, double Ph.D. In immunology and molecular science, and he knew how to keep human cells alive in the test tube. And so he said, let's build not just a microenvironment where human cells will thrive, but let's build a macro environment where people can come for the best treatments that you can get from all over the world, but let's put them in an environment of healing. And so when you come here to Sanoviv, you'll find that it's very relaxing, very beautiful. It's in an area where the ocean breezes are very clean, free of pollution. We can provide clean water for people, put them in an environment of detoxification, healthy food, nutritious food. All of those things are part of the Sanoviv experience.
Well, I can attest to the beauty of the location for sure, and it sounds all very healing already to be here, getting the ocean breezes and what have you. So let's continue our little tour around and see. I can tell you that this building is really a remarkable space and quiet. Yeah.
So this building is where we house our psychology department. We found that when people are ill, it's emotionally stressful, and so to have the support of a psychologist and mind-body therapist is going to be very, very important with their healing. Every morning at 7 o'clock, we have meditation classes over here. We teach people different types of meditation. We found that it's very effective in helping to reduce pain. As you can see, we're in this beautiful location right by the ocean. Down here we have a walking trail that people can walk around. It's 8 times around is 1 mile. And again, is a beautiful location for some fitness. Over here we have our thalasso pools. There's no chlorine at Sanoviv, so these are saltwater pools that are purified with hydrogen peroxide. And it gives our guests an opportunity to swim. And then at the top, which we'll see in a moment, we have the thalasso pools, which are heated to different temperatures. This is our staff dining room. What a beautiful view, even for staff. And one of the things that you'll find here in Mexico is that wages are often very low, and there is a disparity in income levels of different groups. Mm-hmm. And so here at Sanoviv, we do pay our staff very well, and so they love working here. And recently, I was looking at some of the staff longevity, and we have staff here that have been here 20 years.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible for any kind of a medical facility.
And how long has Sanoviv been in operation?
We started in 2000.
Okay.
So 23
almost
years.
From the beginning.
Almost from the beginning.
Amazing.
Yeah. So coming up this way.
This is gorgeous.
If you look at the medical tower here, this was built after, of course, Dr. Wentz started Sanoviv. This round area in the front is our guest dining area. So this is where we serve our meals, which are whole foods, mostly organic. And much of the food is actually grown right here on site, which we'll see the garden in just a few moments.
Great.
The other levels are primarily guest rooms, but we have areas on the second and third floor, which are our medical areas. And so this is where all of the great things happen at Sanoviv with our immunotherapies, therapies for different types of diseases. One of the illnesses that people travel from all over the world to get treated for here is chronic Lyme.
Oh, is that right?
These are people who are really suffering, who have tried everything in other settings and just were not able to get better. And we have a therapy here from Germany that is very, very effective.
All right.
And then, of course, cancer. Many of our guests come here for cancer, and the immunotherapies that we have available are state-of-the-art, and they are developed right here in our immunotherapy lab right on site.
I see. Fascinating. I'm sure that Dr. Moss is going to have many more questions regarding that process of developing those immunotherapies. It's a unique thing from my understanding. I've not heard that being the case in other locations.
It is very unique, yes. These are our thalassopools. You start here. This is 105 degrees. This one is 98 degrees. There's a reflexology pool where people will walk around to stimulate their feet, and then a cold plunge. So there's a rotation that people go from one pool to the other, and it helps to open the pores and release toxins. So this is a detoxification therapy that is open for all of our guests to experience.
Great.
Through this door is our quiet room. This is an area where we do bioenergetic therapies. So this would be anything to do with microcurrents, light therapy, magnet therapy. These are all done here at Sanoviv in our bioenergetic department. These are therapies that help to balance the electrical and energy portions of the body. We often think in conventional medicine, we think a lot about the chemical side with medications and pharmaceuticals. But there is another side of the body, which is the electrical or energy part. And we know that that's important because if without that, your heart would no longer beat. It's those electrical impulses that create the heartbeat that keeps someone alive. So we're doing all of these therapies to try and help to benefit that area of the body as well. These are supplemental or supportive therapies. They're not primary therapies, but they're important.
Yes.
And when you take all the pieces together, the environment, the organic food, the psychology, the bioenergetics, these all combine to create better results.
As we know, in areas of Eastern medicine, they are very much aware of things like chi energy and chakras and different ways of describing human energies. If you have therapies specific to energy and electrical energies in particular, do those have a basis in some Eastern philosophies or other philosophies? What are the origins of those, the thinking around?
That's a really good question. So what we've tried to do is bring what we have been able to find as the very best modalities from all over the world, from whatever source they come from. If there is something that has some scientific basis to it, where we've been able to actually look at the studies and see that these things do help. In fact, here at Sanoviv, we're actually in the process of doing a study right now on meditation to see what effect it has on the body. So we're having people meditate, and then we're testing their blood levels, all the different things before and after, to see if it, actually to prove, because we know that it does have a really great effect on the body.
That's interesting. And has there been any published studies that have taken place here at Sanoviv under the direction of the founder or other doctors who you're associated with?
We have.
Okay.
Yeah. We in 2021 we published a paper about our Lyme treatments.
Oh yeah.
It was a case study. This past year we published articles in medical journals about iodine, the importance of that mineral in our that element in our bodies.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's we're doing more and more of that because Dr. Wentz wants Sanoviv to be not just a place for people to come to get treated, but as a model for the world of how a hospital really should be.
Right.
What should a healing facility be like?
I would think that if you are, as you've said, developing new or your own immunotherapy protocols in-house here, that's a field that I'm sure you've got interest in documenting and probably publishing around the results of that study
Very
or
much
that process as well.
And right now we're collecting data,
Right.
Tons of data.
Right.
And we're following people as they go home and how are they doing, how are they continuing to do.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once we are able to assemble all of that data, then yes, we want to share that with the world.
Great. Thank you.
So I'd like to take you through our spa so you can see what that looks like.
Okay.
Again, a cold plunge, which is done after the sauna.
All right.
Again, a detox therapy, which is very good. You know, the skin is the largest organ of the body and does tend to accumulate toxins, and so heat therapy, where we cause someone to sweat and expel those toxins, are very, very helpful. You have aromatherapy baths here. In this area we have our seaweed body wraps and rinsing. This is our massage area. So we do lymphatic massage, Swedish massage, therapeutic, deep tissue massages. These are all very, very important parts of the therapy. If you can stimulate the lymphatic system and have it working properly, it's like the body's garbage can. I mean, it releases the toxins from the body. This is one of our labs.
May I?
Right here.
Bill, can you talk us through some of the diagnostics or some of the types of work that's being done in this lab right now?
So this is our general lab, and this is where we're doing just basic blood tests, where we're testing for, the CBC, normal blood levels, also hormone testing, testing for different levels of nutrients. This is our dental department. Okay. So, in many areas of the world, dental is separated from the rest of the body. So they talk about medical and then they talk about dental. But the truth is that the mouth is actually connected to the rest of the body. And so looking at it as a whole person rather than just chopping the body up into different areas is a very important part of what we do. Colon hydrotherapy. This is a detoxing therapy that can be done. Let's see if we can do this without turning the fan on.
Good.
Our nutrition counseling area. Chiropractic.
Hello. May I?
This is our guest dining area, and so the meals are served either plated or in a buffet. Our focus is on whole foods, as I said before, mostly organic, grass-fed, hormone-free, protein, organic. We serve no beef here, but we do serve organic poultry and deep sea fish. Each guest receives a schedule every night at dinner for the following day, so their activities are planned and organized throughout the day. Education is a very important part of what we do here at Sanoviv. We're not just trying to treat people, but we're trying to help them to change their lifestyle so when they get home they can continue to heal. So I'll show you our education center.
Great.
You can see the importance of education with that kind of a facility.
And we definitely agree about the importance of education. It's a hard sell to get people to change their lifestyles, but it is an important factor that we believe in, metabolic therapy, so to speak.
Exactly right.
So,
and
yes.
I mean, we'll have many people that will come here and they'll say, oh, I don't think I can eat healthy for 3 weeks in a row. I just don't know if I can do that. And those are the same people that at the end of the 3 weeks are saying to me, I could live like this forever. I feel so much better. And so it's really not just about telling somebody, but about having them experience it for themselves. This is a Sanoviv guest room. Quadruple filtered. The last process is the reverse osmosis. So all of the water in every tap, in the showers, in the bathing areas, it's all pure drinkable water. Nice. How many rooms do you know that has an indoor enema station already built in for people to use that as a detoxification therapy? Very, very important.
I've not seen it before.
So at Sanoviv, we provide the detoxification clothing for each of our guests. This is all cotton, much of it is organic, and it's designed to help the body to release toxins. And so as you walk around, you'll notice that our guests are all wearing this clothing that we provide for them. And it's laundered every day, so everyone gets 2 sets and then they rotate.
Very nice.
And then also the clothing here, which is under the bed. Each room is equipped with a chi machine, which they can use to help stimulate the lymphatic system, and a rebounder. And these bars are for them to hold on to so that you don't go flying when you're doing the rebounder. But this is a very important therapy.
And recommended not to do it on
Not
the
do
terrace.
it outside. Not to do it outside. Each of our guests, we ask them to bring a companion with them, especially if they're very ill. And so this is the companion room right here. An area for the companion who also gets to wear the Sanoviv clothing, for them to have a private space to stay.
Oh, nice. Such a thoughtful approach.
This is the view from outside your room. And as you may have heard, we are constructing an annex next door. And so you can see the construction process is going on right now. And a little later, I'll show you a picture of what the new annex is going to look like. We will have no more guest rooms than we have now. So this annex is 100% to improve the quality of what we do here. So we'll have a brand new state-of-the-art operating room, new stem cell laboratory, immunotherapy labs, and air treatment areas. Okay, so I think we'll go and just see the garden and the greenhouse, and we'll head over to the...
Now, Bill, you had mentioned to me as we were discussing our visit that in fact you avoid having just generalized Wi-Fi broadcast everywhere on the property as part of sort of keeping things that potentially could be harmful out of the environment. And I think that is a very thoughtful approach. I don't know where the science lives on all of that, but I personally think that electromagnetic radiation is a contaminant in an environment, and it is something that I think that a kind of purified healing space should be trying to avoid.
Absolutely. Reducing EMFs is important to us, and we found in particular that our guests sleep much better in an environment where there's no EMFs. And
Yeah.
so there is no Wi-Fi in any of the guest rooms on purpose.
Interesting. You might have to look into putting our Wi-Fi on a timer at home after having spoken with you about this now.
This is our staff education room in here. Hello. And this is our Sanoviv greenhouse. Do this. Move this wheelbarrow out of the way so we can get a better. Go ahead.
All right. I see some beautiful sprouts, chickpea sprouts, mung bean sprouts, some of my favorites. Some other sprouts. These are peas.
Hi, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. Can you tell us a little bit about why you're here?
I am from Saskatchewan in Canada. I'm here because I was diagnosed with cancer in the summer of 2021, and I went through surgery, a really extensive one, and 6 months of chemo afterwards. I'm not really a firm believer in chemo in the first place because it's so hard on your body, and how can you heal? That's one of the things I've learned being at Sanoviv. How can your body heal when it's in survival mode, which I would have been that entire time. When I phoned Sanoviv, I got the admission papers, filled them out right away. Within that, I think it was that same day, they had, from admissions, had phoned me back, gave me all the information I wanted. For the first time, I felt hope because he said, yes, we can help you. Within 2 weeks, my CT scan here showed that the tumor on the left side was completely gone. So going from back home, where there's nothing they can do for me except try and give me a little bit more time, to this is huge.
The following segment is an edited version of the full clinic conversation available at themossreport.com.
Hi, Dr.
Good
Ortega.
morning. How are you, Dr. Moss?
I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
Doing good as well.
Could you tell me a little bit about yourself, about your background and how you came to work at Sanoviv?
Yes, I have a duration here in Sanoviv of 5 years since I joined the team here in Sanoviv. I've worked in obviously traditional oncology for around 10 years, using obviously the standard treatments of approach, surgery, chemotherapy, radiation, continuously doing the same type of therapies. Yes, left with a little bit of sour taste, seeing that in a high percentage of patients, the results are not the adequate ones, and side effects are definitely of concern. Looking into other different treatments as time goes by and seeing how we can maximize the benefit of different therapies, understanding obviously why cancer can become resistant to treatments and how the new therapies, specifically on the line of immunotherapies, can have a good impact, and seeing that there must be something else that can help increase the effectiveness of therapies is how I started on this journey of integral or integrative oncology. So that's an important part of the evolution, and not just doing the treatments here and then saying goodbye to our guests and not seeing them anymore. So we do have a follow-up program and aftercare department that is focused only in attending anything that can come up with our guests. If they have any side effects with therapies or anything new comes up.
Half the U.S. adult population right now is pre-diabetic or diabetic, half, 48.5%. And about 2/3 are either overweight or obese. And I'm wondering how, I mean, I don't know what your dietary program is, but how do you, deal with this?
So the nutritional approach is, I think, sometimes even more important than the oncological treatments, because if we do not change that overweight, we do not decrease the adipose tissue, the amount of hormones that the adipose tissue produces, then that cancer will continue to progress or will become resistant to treatment. So our nutrition department has, I think, a pivotal role in our guests in addressing the type of nutrients, and they will always do a body composition analysis upon arrival.
How do you globally evaluate the success of Sanoviv's program vis-a-vis conventional oncology? Because patients are going to want to know, is this, I assume it's an investment for people to come down to your beautiful facility and spend, 5 weeks or more?
So I think that is one of the ways that we do our comparison. We can state if we are on the right track, if we are having a good impact in the patient's overall survival rate or response rates, and comparing what a traditional approach does to this specific type of cancer, and then seeing what our approach does to the same type of cancer in the same stage. So I think that is the best way that we can compare both treatments. And we've had patients that specifically have come in after doing all the traditional therapies and that were deemed to hospice, and we've been able, with all of the combined approach, to change that label of hospice and go into now a treatment protocol with response rates and increased overall survival. So I think that is the way that we could measure, and we have been measuring and comparing the responses that we see globally with what we are doing here. As patients are increasing their overall health, decreasing pain, as we take into account every parameter that is important in cancer treatment, that would be the different types of therapies that we choose, but also their overall well-being, their psychological state, their emotional state, their nutritional state in the same program, that really has a very good impact. I think that vision that the founder of Sanoviv, Dr. Wentz, had is something extremely important, and that is something that we've carried out and continue to work on, and I think that has helped all of our patients. So it's very inspiring, and that maintains our work here, constantly getting us to be better for our guests. So yes, I think it is very promising.
Thank you, Dr. Ortega. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
We'll meet in person one of these days.
Hope so.
That would be nice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ortega, for taking the time to speak with us today. We really appreciate it, and Bill, we really appreciate you coming down to give us the tour. And on behalf of the Moss Report, I'm Ben Moss. How are you healing today?